at frat parties, at frat-style parties. Here are leaked college photos right now, by the way. And she's even there downing some beers. Unfortunately, it's Rolling Rock.
Oh, God.
Look, what in the world?
College. It's college.
It's college. And here she is blowing up condoms.
Well, that's...
Nothing like wishful thinking, love.
I think they were drinking shots out of condoms.
Yes.
You would know.
Yeah.
I know that story. Because I can read Yakuza. I'm gay.
Yeah. Let's go with that. So my question to you is, how many... So
as your lips were moving, you hit that button, and it was perfect.
How many drinks would you need to find Alyssa Heinerscheid suitable? And it is free Mug Club month for another week. LiveWithClaire.com/Mug Club. Do, again, consider joining up because there's no way that we can support ourselves through YouTube, of course. And here's something, though, the solutions here. Look, first, there are a few different layers to this. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're going to put Budweiser out of business. And by the way, for the record, go check out Anheuser-Busch and their entire catalog.
Yeah.
It's not just Bud Light. And that's something like Brian's point. Some people are like, I don't drink Bud Light, and then they go and they drink Corona, whatever it is. They go and drink, I don't know if it's Beck's or all these brands that they have under their house. You need to be aware of what it is that you're supporting. Look, you need to, okay, not purchase products. Actively oppose companies who hate everything.
Belgian companies, not even American companies.
You need to contrast that by actively supporting companies who actually share your values. And here's the beauty of it. It's never been more easy than today. For example, you'll never see television ratings that use Johnny Carson. We've talked about that, right? The fracturing of viewership, which is why we're so grateful for you tuning in, because people have more choices. You have more choices. It's never been easier to both boycott and boycott. If you don't want to drink Bud Light and you want to drink a watered down macro urine lager, all you need to do is tilt your head slightly, or I guess I should say pan it slightly to the right and grab another case of crap. Or if you want to try something better, just go a little bit more to the right and you will have 50 choices from local, you have distillers, you have local brewers, and also understand, local doesn't necessarily mean you're safe. There are plenty of local woke crap brewers.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit of research. We do this all the time. Even before I buy a product, I'll just look online at About Us. I go, rainbow flag, let me go find their alternative. Just do some research. You can, and this starts with your community. It starts with supporting local businesses who aren't beholden to international influence, who aren't concerned about the ESG scores, these issues, these indexes. We should probably do a refresher course on that maybe next week. It's not about you, the customer. It's about appealing to international investors. It's about mitigating this risk. Here's the thing, at a certain point though, when they become so unprofitable or irrelevant, guess what? The market might have to correct itself to a degree. We're not going to get back where we were before, but the good news is we don't have to. You can have your own community. There are so many choices out there. I see people going, what are we switching to? Coors Light? It's not like it's just Bud Light or Coors Light or Miller Light.
Budweiser.
So many options.
And it's not like you have to sacrifice a ton of quality either. In this case, it'd actually be better.
You can upgrade quality.
Exactly. I was about to say, local breweries are everywhere.
Yes.
And I think that these corporations, there's this idea that they're these powerful monoliths, and they are, but they're not principled.
Right.
And they do respond to the bottom line. And you can have a huge effect.
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
And it can last, but you've got to, like to your point, you've got to educate yourself. We are no longer at a point, in my opinion, where you can afford to be politically ignorant and politically non-committed. Because if you are, you're part of the problem. And that's just a fact.
No, I agree with you. It used to be like, you know what, I don't go into politics at all, and I don't know, there's a cock on my can.
Right. Yeah, and how did that work out in the 20th century, by the way, when you were like, I'm not into politics.
It's every inch. It's every single inch that you have to fight for. And that's why we're happy to have people like you. We're happy to have people like Nick DiPaolo here. We're happy to be bringing on other people who are actually risking something. Not people who are making money off you as conservatives, but people who have been in this industry for a long time. Yeah, you will get blacklisted. Yes, your career will suffer as a result, and we want to be able to have your back. But you cannot afford to just ignore politics. Doesn't mean that you have to follow it every second of the day. That's why we try and offer you this show. What you do is you have an hour and a half to 2 hours where you can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we make the references available. So you can decide, you can go as deep as you want in studying these issues. And I encourage you to, and I encourage you, LeVar Burton, don't take my word for it. Take the word of this 6-year-old with a pop-up book. But here's the thing, Bud Light's marketing team is clearly struggling. You know, it does seem like some other competitors have picked up the ball.
Yeah.
So and they're doing a little bit of in-house production advertising. It's an opportunity.
Stephen, what would
If your beer tastes like water and has gone completely flaccid, it's Mug Club time. When your idea of beer after a hard day's work doesn't involve you stealing women's luggage at the airport, it's Mug Club time. When their marketing has hopped from funny frogs to disturbed drag queens, Mug Club time. When they tell you with a straight face that Clydesdales are out and stubbled chicks with dicks are in, Mug Club time.
Where's my commemorative can? I think they hit the dump button. Sorry if you're on YouTube. I don't know when we're back, but obviously here on Rumble you can watch. What about to say there, Brian?
I'm so sorry I stepped on that.
No, it's okay.
Fantastic ad.
They're not expensive.
What would Bud Light have to do to get back into your good graces?
Seppuku.
Make good beer? I don't know.
Seppuku.
I didn't have to think about it.
All right. Well, that's
about it.
Pronounced seppuku.
They can't. That's the problem.
I mean, if you were, but if you
Well,
were a
there's
soda,
some of their spokespeople. What?
Yeah. But there should be a path to.
Stephen, the odds are in your favor on that one, too.
Help me, Brian!
Wait, I couldn't. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, well, so did I.
The answer
Thank
is
God we hit the YouTube.
There's nothing that they can do. They pandered. They went the wrong direction. If they come back, it's only because it financially hurts.
Exactly.
It's not because they actually changed their mind and
Right.
saw the error of their ways. So no, you're done.
That's it.
I was never a Bud Light
That's
guy.
it? You put a chick with a dick on your can, you lose, you get nothing! You lose! You lose! Nothing! No! No! No chicks with dicks on cans! No! Dylan Mulvaney?
That's where your line is.
That's where your line is.
Let's go to Black Maternal Health.
Oh boy.
What could go wrong there?
So yesterday, the columnist, by the way, Carrie Sheffield, really took it to Joy Reid on Joy Reid's show. She still has one.
Surprisingly.
And gave her a history lesson. And by the way, we've actually done a video on this on Margaret Sanger and written articles at loudwithcrowder.com. So we'll probably have the link somewhere where you can click it more in depth. I highly recommend that you learn about the roots of Planned Parenthood. But Carrie Sheffield actually educated Joy Reid, who you would think would know the roots of an intensely racist organization, considering how obsessed she is with, fictional racism. So they discussed the roots of abortion.
I believe in human rights. To me, abortion is as evil as slavery. It truly is. And when you look at the founding of Planned Parenthood and who Margaret Sanger was, you look at her research. She was a woman who believed in eugenics. She was a woman who believed in the purification of the race, and she didn't want certain women to reproduce. And I find that legacy to be deeply problematic.
Right,
and from just a scientific standpoint.
Right, but the vast majority of women are not eugenicists. Most people probably don't even know what there is. Most women just want control of their own body.
First off, why is she wearing a sea urchin on her head? No, wait, actually, who wore it better? Joy Reid or
Piggy?
Tom York, actually? Don't you love the little argument she makes? Most women are not eugenicists. Sure, but you believe that people who, by the way, are descendants from free, non-slave states who never had slaveholders in their past, reparations. We're only talking about a couple of generations removed where this was a proactive eugenics approach. Yeah, but most women aren't that. Well, I'm not a slave owner, bitch.
No, and I don't understand it, but the Democrats went from safe, legal, and rare. That was the rare part up front. You guys never thought this, even you never thought that this should be as widespread as it is right now, especially when it was, she said, certain women not reproducing. It was imbeciles, but mostly black people.
Yeah.
That's why they put the clinics in black communities,
Yes.
so that they could make sure that there were less black babies, so that they would have less black people in the country, because she was a racist.
Yep.
There goes all those
pretty
votes.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're building the world in their image. Think about it. You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division. I mean, this is the playbook. This is the fascist playbook. By the way, fascism, a distinctly extreme left ideology, if you guys actually want to understand, because it's consolidated power to the government. But Monday,
Actually, sorry to interrupt, but it's also important of a history lesson with the communist revolution, the Bolshevik revolution. The idea was that the state would raise your child.
Yep.
That, you know, it was very bourgeois to have parents, a mother raise her child. You can see your kids, but let the state, because we have experts who know how to raise your child. So there was an attack on the nuclear family.
Yep.
And that was central to Marxist thinking.
and it's also sort of exemplified by it takes a village. It's like, well, no, hold on a second.
No.
A village helps.
Yes.
Village helps. It's good to have a community. The communities that you've proactively sought to destroy, but it takes a family, and you don't want that to be a component. And it's incredibly important. That's why, by the way, that's why we have marriage laws. That's why we have tax incentives on the books, because our founding fathers said before there was any kind of federal governance, before state governance, before even municipal governance, there needs to be self-governance, and that can only take place with strong families. But not to understand this, on Monday, former Vice President Joe Biden said April 11th through April 17th is Black Maternal Health Week. Whatever.
Wow.
So
Black maternal health. That week is the week I celebrate white paternal wealth.
yeah.
Anyone?
I was gonna say I celebrate white barren wombs, so I'm busy.
It's like a Wednesday to a Wednesday, Joe. Why? Is this like a Tuesday night idea?
Yeah, well, thank God he's on it.
Well,
Black women must feel so safe and represented.
Yes.
We got a week. By the way, it's only 6 days. It's not even 7. What happened to Sunday?
You give them the leap year of weeks, Biden.
I mean,
You're no math Asian. That is 7 days.
all right, whatever. You and your Spanish accents and your math.
Hey, you started this crap with your grammar. So Biden called upon Americans to amplify the voices and experiences of Black women, families, and communities, and committing to building a world in which Black women do not have to fear for their safety. But the Black babies who are more likely to be aborted in New York, right? The most dangerous place for them to be is in their mother's womb. So there are, by the way, about 20 million Black people who won't be celebrating it, just to be clear, or anything ever, because 20 million Black lives have been ended through abortion,
Donuts.
including women and girls from 2019 to 2020.
Missing
Abortion
remote,
rates among
welcome.
Black women rose from 386 to 426 per 1,000 live births, and experts say it would have been even higher if R. Kelly wasn't convicted.
I need to see data on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have.
That's where I draw the line.
Well, I'll get a 6-year-old with a pop-up, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Okay, sorry.
Reading rainbow. The Planned Parenthood is the worst thing to happen to Black babies since Madonna. Let's just be clear about it. And we all want to sit here and act like, oh yeah, Black women. They don't care about you. Understand it? They don't. They only use you when convenient. And people say this is race. No, they fake your voice. And I mean, they fake Black voice. They think you'll actually buy it. By maternal health, they mean killing your babies. It's genocide. It was set up as a genocidal organization, to be clear, and it was done through subversive methods. And by the way, this also brings us into something that a lot of you may have a tough time navigating. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you've probably heard about the abortion pill, right, being outlawed, and then is it outlawed or is it not? So last night there was a federal appeals court. They ruled that this abortion pill, mifepristone, could remain available. I believe it was a court that sort of blocked the block from Texas, to be clear. It just can't be sent in the mail. The decision overruled a Northern District of Texas judge who last week said that the Food and Drug Administration's approval, Bill Prestone, in 2000 was not valid in essence. He was saying that the drug should be pulled from the market. So it was about a safety issue, which we know the left doesn't care about as it relates to drugs, see the mRNA injection. But just to be clear, the abortion pill that we're
still
talking
on,
about is not the same as Planned
YouTube?
I just want to be clear because that's what the left tries to say, where it's like the morning after pill, and then they try and extrapolate from that. They go, they want to ban all contraception. They want to make it so you can't get a 25-cent rubber at a truck stop. No, there actually are safety issues, and again, the law of contrast, the way that it went through the process with the FDA. Well, here's a perfect example. In your lifetime, okay, have you witnessed, and I would like for you to comment below, an FDA process that resembled the mRNA injection? Right? Or was that abnormal? Okay, this is another example of an anomaly. If you
There's
do
fire
research
over there?
We'll probably do more of a deep dive next week. But just don't be confused and let them conflate the
There's
two.
a fireman
They're
inside
not
a
the same
speedway,
thing,
so apparently
whether you
it's something
agree
they know
with either
about.
or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember what state it was. Maybe the researchers can get it for us. It was either.
Oh, they're doing a
West
controlled
Coast
burn, I
states bought
forgot.
A bunch of it.
At
right,
the
to make sure that it was
forest.
going to be available for their citizens, and people could come and get it from them. I'm like, oh, that's what you should be spending your money on. By the way, no matter what state it was, Washington, Oregon, or California, they have better things to do with the money. Trust me, we've seen what those states look like and what those policies lead to. So, but they're making sure that that kind of stat that we showed from New York, like that's heartbreaking, right?
Oh, they're talking about it on CNN right now. Let's see if they conflate the two. Right now on CNN, nothing up our sleeves.
That's 23 years. And we should also note that that's as a result of the FDA approval. The Federal Drug Administration, that is the entity that really examines whether or not something should be brought to market. In making that assessment, they found, the FDA did, that it was perfectly fine and proper.
Wrong.
Now we have a district court judge, the lower court
But
judge.
here's the
said
thing.
not so.
Explain, as we just did, explain why some people may not agree with you, and then address the argument. Instead, they just go, the FDA said it's fine. Sure, we've already heard that. There are some people saying the process wasn't as valid as other FDA processes. They don't even address it. They're going with talking point number one.
Of course they are. And by the way, you want to just kind of appeal to the authority of the FDA, right? That argument. We'll pull some examples of some of the things that the FDA has approved that maybe they want that one back.
Right. And by the way, I also understand the problem is some drugs that would help you are not approved by the FDA. They're sitting on the shelf because they might cause tummy discomfort. I think that you should be able to use experimental medication if you understand the risks and you make that decision for yourself. I don't think that there should be some bureaucratic organization that, beyond the basic realms of safety, should prevent you from access to some healthcare out there. This is not that we're talking about, especially something that in some instances is taxpayer funded. So you can't have it both ways. When you have the left for years, remember all the people wearing granola hippies saying that, oh man, big pharma. I wish that I loved anything that loves the Democrat Party loves big pharma these days. Anything.
Seems they've changed it.
Just so I could feel alive.
That's cutting.
Yes, that's a hot topic. Let's see what else he's saying here, and we're going to be continuing on Rumble, not on YouTube, as we do some stuff up. But I want to see what they're saying.
And you don't forget that uniformity, right? Everyone wants, you need consistency in life. You need to know what the rules are, what the benchmarks are, what's happening next. And so I think when you have this
Consistency, like male, female?
Fifth Circuit Court, you need the Supreme Court to interpret that. It doesn't mean their interpretation is going to get any better. It's very conservative, right? Six justices conservative.
And you know what he just said? He just said, doesn't even get any better. It's still very conservative. That right there just showed you he fancies himself an objective journalist.
Right.
The Supreme Court, here's what he just said. The Supreme Court is bad because it represents half the country.
Hey, Chopper!
The most trusted name in news.
Better is a qualitative term.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, they're conservative. That's why. I'm sorry. Why would that matter? Because the other ones are liberal. By your definition, you're splitting it. So there is a liberal. So it's just who you agree with.
Exactly.
Not the actual law or the actual process. By the way, it's California have secured because California doesn't have other problems.
Yeah, they don't have a $20 billion deficit.
They don't.
They need to buy a bunch of pussy pills.
250,000 pills, and they're negotiating for up to 2 million more because people need to be able to kill their babies.
Babies must die.
There's a difference between the abortion pill and Plan B?
Yeah, there's a morning after pill, and again, you do have some people who disagree. They say actually it can disrupt the uterine wall, kind of like some people talk about IUDs. It can actually irritate the uterine wall post fertilization. But still, the Plan B is not the same as actually like the abortion pill, which basically dissolves what is already existing there. And I just say it because it's not. No one, and I understand that there are arguments to be made on that topic. That's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm telling you is that is not even on the table. What we are talking about is the abortion pill, which can be taken a significantly later amount of time that no one disagrees, on the right or left, is in fact an abortion. So they don't care anyway, right? They don't care anyway. Let me just leave you with this, okay? And please do, we're going to go to Mud Club here, and we have Casey's Gag Reflex and Chat Thursday. And there's a lot of chat regarding perhaps sitting down with the, some people say former president, some people say sitting President Donald Trump. I say sitting president, okay? We'll be talking about that in Chat Thursday. But while we're discussing abortion here, I don't know. I don't even know why we want to go into this. I don't even know if we have time. We've already gone over time. What do you think?
Piss off. Tell them to piss off.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad we have the YouTube dump button, but it's free Mud Club month. I'm going to continue this here right now on Rumble. If you're on YouTube, what the hell are you doing here? Just help the algorithm if you want. I don't care. Whatever. Head on over to Rumble. We're going to continue for another 45 minutes here with stuff that we can never say on YouTube.
Ooh, Brinks truck.
I am not gay.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm absolutely not gay. All right, I think one of the research people have brought in the over 1/3. I think. If you want to bring that up for us, Boozy? I think it was 1/3 of the FDA approved drugs had complications or issues. Let's see, drug had safety problems after FDA approval. We'll get you the most egregious case. That's what just one specific example, but 1/3. That's a pretty high number to be pointing to them and saying, well, the FDA said it was just fine. It must be A-okay for everybody. I don't think people have a hard time believing that we shouldn't be trusting of our institutions when they have records like that. Right? 33% of the time they're going to be absolutely wrong. And by the way, this is not some like little detail wrong. It's potentially having bad health outcomes for people, meaning death potentially as one of those side effects. As a side effect, you may no longer be able to breathe, right? That's not a little side effect for these guys to have. They need to have
Breathe either.
Well, no, but look, when you talk about failure rates on critical like infrastructure, airplanes, medicine, engineering, stuff like that, you're talking about like infinitesimally small numbers of failures per 1,000 per million, however you want to do it. 33% have problems in no industry in
That's
the
all you do is bitch. Gerald needing all of his air.
No, listen, I'm just saying, weathermen get it right more than that. I'm like,
You guys talking about abortion again?
No,
Weatherman?
people.
You use your Weatherman multi-tool?
Oh my gosh, I'm not a boob guy.
What I love is when Brian sits there, he has no idea what you're saying versus that was the soundboard.
Did Gerald just say that?
No, what I was going to say, and we're going to be testing Yakuza's gag reflex here in a minute, but with abortion, people will say, oh, and Brian and I were talking about this before. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but people say, oh, it's a losing issue of Republicans, and I do want to, look, politically, okay, there's some truth to that where the left can gain some ground because they can paint the right as extremists. But if I am Ron DeSantis or I am Donald Trump running for president, or if I'm advising them, when they say, well, the Republican Party wants to take away women's rights and they're extreme, here's what you do. You turn right to them and say, well, look, I understand that it's been tossed back to the states, and states have the right to make their own laws, regardless of where I line up on abortion on a federal level. But I certainly do think that something like a heartbeat, or whatever their belief is, I can't speak for them. They can educate the audience. They can, of course, inform people as to what their position is. For
It's
me,
a weird-looking Brinks truck. It's just like a little box truck. It wasn't really their armored, one of their armored vehicles.
Would be viable.
Wonder what they move.
Let me ask you, since you say I'm an extremist, and I've already made exceptions for rape and incest because both candidates have, where would you put a limit on abortion? Right? That's my position. I believe yours is more extreme than mine, Mr. Biden or Kamala Harris, whoever it is, probably former Vice President Biden. And then get into specifics. Would you limit it at the second trimester? They're not going to give you an answer. I guarantee you this. I've bet my life on it. Would you limit it at the third? Would you limit it after it has a central nervous system and can feel pain? How about eyes, fingers, toes? How about its own separate functioning organs at that point? Hey, hold on a second. How about 8.5 months? How about 9 months? And what you do is you do a few good men where you don't let them off that point. You make the moderator tell you that you're breaking the rules, where you go, I want to hear a limit, sir. I want to hear a limit. I want to hear 8.5 months, 9 months. Are you saying that they should be able to have an abortion up until and including birth? Do you agree with the governor of Virginia? Do you agree with the policy in Colorado and in California? 9 months right now, you can abort a baby that survived an abortion in Virginia. Do you agree with that, sir? I want to take, and then when they say enough, you say, I'm going to take that as a yes. And you write down on your notepad like you just messed him up.
That's good.
You wear the championship belt like you won it anyway. And everyone goes, holy shit, that's pretty extreme. People are getting abortions up until 9 months. Yes, they are. They say, oh, it's a very small percentage of it. Still many, many thousands per year. No one doubts that that's murder.
I didn't know that.
Hey guys,
you just said that.
Clip that and send that to every Republican candidate for president.
Yeah,
I was going to say, for real. I'm going to run.
You ordered a late-term abortion because that's what Biden told you to do, isn't it? You can't handle the morning after pill. All right.
Your voice got very high.
I want the
toward the end of that.
No, that was
It's the same
Cruise, and then it was
for the Nazi guy.
no, that was Tom Cruise. You ordered the code abortion because that's
You can't handle the truth.
I want black women's health. You can't handle their wombs.
Can I have it for a week then?
Sure.
It's a week. Fine. I don't care about weeks.
All right. So that's what happens. They're going to try and paint you as extremist. The left is the extremist party. And I mean, go through anything. Okay, we don't believe that. We've done this before. What's the party of extremism? We do it on taxes, right?
Yeah.
When people say, oh, they've gone so far. Actually, the right has gone somewhat left, and the left has gone far left. The extremist view is that I don't think that biological men should be able to compete with them. The extremist view is that I don't believe that castrating, whether physically or chemically, young boys as young as 6 years old is... I believe that's the extremist view, whereas you believe that children should be able to be removed from their household with their family if they don't put them on puberty blockers. I'm the extremist here.
Welcome. Thanks for popping in, babe.
Extremist because I don't believe in aborting.
She's getting better, guys.
Period. Taxpayer funded. I'm the extremist.
We're definitely going to do a drive to go pick up the puppy. So.
I'm the extremist because I believe we should put the money into our, or at least not tax people and provide school choices for inner city children rather than committing over $100 billion to a war that will bear no.
She's healing pretty well.
Halfway across the world in Ukraine. I'm the extremist. Hey, where's Code Pink? Where's the anti-war Code Pink? Anyone here? Why are they not protesting it? I just want to make sure that I understand. I'm the extremist. I'm the extremist because I believe that taxes should be reasonable, and I believe that children should be kept safe, and I believe children can make decisions regarding their own sexual, well, I shouldn't say sexual orientation because you changed that term, right? You now say it's a choice, they should be able to choose their gender. I don't believe that children who cannot drive, who cannot drink alcohol, who cannot join the military should be able to change their gender. I just want to make sure that I understand where we're here. I'm the extremist. I don't just mean being bombastic, which I know Donald Trump did. He was the closest to this. I mean, if Donald Trump,
yeah,
whoever it is, and I like both of those, if they could combine.
We'll bring that back. We took the big dogs to the vet this morning. The German Shepherds got their annual screens and shots and their medicines for the summertime to keep the fleas and ticks off and stuff. Only $600 and something bucks.
Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, these are always your choices. Don't just sit and watch these debates. Am I the only one? Am I the only one who sits and watches these debates and I go, why don't you bring up the abortion up to 9 months that he supports? Why don't you bring up the cutting off young boys' penises? How do you think the guy who would say, I don't think 6-year-olds should be able to have their cock cut off by a doctor? You think that torpedoes a campaign? That's an
First of all, it's a true story. And second of all, there's passion behind it. And I think the left has done a really good job of taking control of the narrative and appealing to it with emotion, with humor, with satire. And as far as I can tell, you're the only person on the right doing that, man. You just are. As far as using humor and actually using it. I'm doing the best I can.
You are doing it. You are doing it. But I appreciate the comment, but you are doing it. That's what I love about you. Nick, Gerald, look, I'm surrounded by people who I trust. And you know what? Every single person running for office should have this kind of a surrounding.
Yes.
Just to be clear. You think, genuine question, you think someone would get in trouble if they're running for office? You know, you come, here's what you do. You pattern disrupt. They talk about this. It's just like in fighting, right? Boom, you lay it on fast, and then they go, wait a second. There's a lull. He's slow. They don't know how to gauge it. You let them, okay, you lull them into, okay, so we're talking about children and gender-affirming care. And you go back and forth, you provide your facts. Does anyone actually think that if someone at one of these national debates turned to the camera and said this, that they would get in trouble if they said, well, okay, we can go back and forth and that all you want, but I tell you this, we've seen some stories with CPS actually looking to aggressively remove children from their parents' households, and of course that's a matter of policy from your platform if you don't put them on puberty blockers and sex changes as young as 6 years old. Your own assistant health secretary said that you supported Joe Biden. And as a parent of young children, if someone comes to my house and tries to remove my children because I am not chemically or physically castrating them, I will bury you where you stand.
That's right.
You don't think America at home would go, hey, high five? What are you trying to market to the 1% trannies like the Bud Light bitch?
Less than 1%.
Yes, much.
0.01%. It's slim to vanishing.
Is he calling for violence? Well, it depends. Are is showing up at my house trying to take my kids
And castrate my kids, give my 8th grader a double mastectomy.
Yeah.
And by the way, these operations, it's very important. When you say gender affirming care, you're talking about an operation that will stop that child from ever being able to have an orgasm again. When they're adults, okay? Which means you can never share anything intimate with another person.
It's why I guarantee you pedophilia is the next movement, because they can't consent to sex, but
Well,
they
now,
can
first
consent
of
to
all,
sexual decisions.
it's a gender, but let's be honest, you're seeing pedophilia, that's a little aggressive.
No, I'm saying that's the next
You're a
step.
minor attracted person.
Walk me right into it.
Hold it back.
Hold on a second.
Stephen, this is where I draw the line myself.
This is the net that he drew, and I just
You see that?
it's Brian Fox.
That's, by the way, that's a good mind.
I'm pretty good with the mind.
Said Marceau.
You should see me climb a horizontal rope.
Seen it. I lived it.
What were you saying, Post?
They're so good with language, so you're not talking.
Yeah,
I'm
Jesse.
I mean, thanks a lot. That's French. I'm losing my English, guys. Sorry.
No, it's true. The language, gender affirming care, women's
Affordable
health
care, actually.
Well, yeah,
Pro-choice.
but to your
Minor
point,
attracted person.
don't let them soften this. The problem is you can use language to make it seem like it's not as destructive. And before you know it, you are pushed off center and you're living in crazy land.
Yep.
No.
And a
It's
big
gender
part, Jill
affirming.
and I've talked about this, is the failure of the church. The failure of the church. Because you can't have one side saying gender affirming care, saying women's health care, saying LGBTQ rights, and then pastors. We get so many pastors. I don't know if I
Maternal Health
come up, yeah, Black Maternal Health Week. They'll come up to us and say, yeah, we watch your show, but I can't share it on that. I go, why not? Because they say a couple lines, hey, how about when you were up there on the pew, you use the real language. The only thing that buries the lie effectively is the truth. I'm not asking you to lie. I'm not asking you to use a political hit job. I'm asking you to bury the lies, bury the liar with the truth. It doesn't need to be that hard. Let your freak flag fly. That's what all of us are waiting for. That's what all of us are waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what else we're waiting for?
You very, very much so waiting for this.
Oh, is that what you're about to transition to? Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's telling me I'm going over time.
I'll talk to you all day long, guys.
So, yeah, but this is more fun right now. Sorry. Yakuza.
Just rip the
It's
band.
pronounced Yakuza, but keep going.
Someone corrected me when I said Yakuza. They said it was Yakuza.
Yakuza. It's Yakuza, and Samurai, and Bushido,
Yeah.
and bullshit, and karate.
How do you pronounce it?
Don't sleep with my wife.
Now
That means fake martial arts, is that right?
No, karate. Karate means empty. Cash. Yeah. So if you guys know, if my hands are here, we're playing. If I open my hands,
Yeah.
we go and
We
sing.
just turned it up.
Yeah, we about
What? Business gonna pick up shortly. That's poacher.
That's good.
Oh, you did.
Push the hand.
Just yeah. I'm not gonna open my hands.
What am I getting on Teams?
I'll keep my hands.
Hands are for 11.
I'm gonna work your body.
It's like somebody
So,
mentioned me in Teams. I got an alert for it.
We've noticed this in the office. He has the most fragile gag reflex that we've ever seen in our lives. And I mean basic things like people here drinking like milk.
Milk or
He's anticipating the segment.
Or people here eating bananas. Eating bananas.
I think it's pronounced bananas.
It could be. I don't know, but either way.
Really? You eat a bag over
When I get
bananas?
this, one at home.
So if I were sorry.
This is very real, Bob.
This is very real. Yeah, I know you guys are.
It's like Press MH has a new video too. I'll play that on the desktop stream.
Casey Yakuza's gag reflex.
Stingers is so much better than
That is so good.
All right, so before we get to this, explain, when did you realize?
Hold on, I need to know.
Yes, do we have a bucket?
Yes. All right.
Yes.
That's a
When did you realize? When did you realize that you couldn't stomach, like basic produce?
I really don't know. Like, it kind of started here. Like, Johnny Boy has just been kind of screwing with me.
Yes, he does.
And I just started talking about bananas. I hate bananas because they got hair on them.
Hair on them? What kind of,
It's called fiber.
what kind of bananas? Are you talking about the bananas you find in bathhouses?
It's not a transient garlic fish.
No,
On the floor in Memphis.
Not the glory hole banana. I'm talking about real bananas.
like an actual banana, like when you peel it.
So they've always made you bananas.
Bananas are gross, man.
So just to be clear, we want you to send in your suggestions. We're not going to be doing anything gross. This isn't like Fear Factor.
No.
These are common household foodstuffs.
stuff. So
That's case that Yakuza can't handle. Don't you have a weird thing with hot dogs?
Costco does it so well.
They do.
Fantastic. I love that.
What? Yeah.
Sorry, Casey.
The CEO of Costco is going to change his hot dogs to market to Yakuza.
Yeah.
Breaking a fever.
Like, so if you were to nibble, if somebody were to nibble a banana, I'm not saying eating a banana with like 2 bites, which I could do.
I just,
We're about to test it. So do you have some music? Do you have some?
I love something.
Put it on low. The people you can watch. So, Toolman,
Okay.
let's. You brought yourself a snack here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my hand on my pants.
Okay. So
we got it. Sorry. I got this.
So we have.
I'll have to look. I might just make. Isn't there a nurses login?
Yes.
Are you listening still?
All right. Oh, the other end. What? You peel from the bottom? Well, that's weird.
That is weird.
That's how you do it?
I'll answer when I get to the. Get to work.
I
I think isn't there nursing?
Is there any hair on it?
Oh, it's a pretty hairy.
There's a little bit more.
Did you just throw up?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Wow.
You actually already did?
Yeah, it's a little bit. Oh, look at Oh my god, he put hair on the bun.
He put a strand of banana on his brain.
What the fuck, dude?
Fiber
That's
cake.
how we do it in the woods.
Oh god.
All right. We haven't even opened the banana. We haven't even opened this.
He's a prepper, too.
No, he's gonna take the whole thing and put it in his hands. God. Your freaking hands, man, are gonna.
Yeah, Tim, you know what I think?
Let me lick it.
I think we have to do some Yakuza gag fusion cuisine. And put. I would like to see that banana in that bun. I would like you to eat a hot dog banana.
Oh god.
I think.
Another streak for
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like a shot.
Could you take a bite of that if it was in a bun?
Give me a raise and I'll take a bite of the banana.
No, I'm not gonna get it.
I'll give you 50
I'm
bucks.
thinking about changing the locks on you. All right.
making me cry.
His eyes are watering.
His eyes are watering.
Hands are shaking.
Let's go.
All right. Banana. Bun.
Here we go.
Bun.
Put a little hair in there, please.
Which should I take?
I don't know whichever one Yakuza doesn't like.
I think it's this one.
I think that's it.
I keep throwing up.
Do it.
All right. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. Okay. This has been testing Yakuza's gag reflex.
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Yakuza.
Do you remember Alex Jones with the bum piss?
Yeah.
He has the same reaction.
So, man, that wasn't that bad. It was just banana and bun, but you can eat your real snack.
It's your real snack, Cal.
Yeah, you have a real snack.
No, but it
But it doesn't make you gag.
No.
Especially not that. That's a ready endorsement because that oatmeal from MyPatriotSupply.com. So right now you get $200 off a 3-month bucket of My Patriot Supply right now if you go to MyPatriotSupply.com. Is it Patriot Supply or Preppers Crowder?
MyPatriotSupply.com.
MyPatriotSupply.com. I actually eat their oatmeal when I eat oatmeal. It's better than
It's fantastic.
Quaker. So look, it doesn't make a Yakuza gag, and it's good for 25 years. Everyone should have it's not about crazy post-apocalyptic world. I just have thin glass and I have some water and I have some kind of a way to generate light and heat. And look, he's totally fine with it.
Yeah. By the way,
Is that,
great.
is that,
He
is
loves
that
it.
3 months?
that's a
right
3-month supply.
What is it, dehydrated? And just add water to it?
Yeah, there's you have soup, you have pasta, you have oatmeal. Their pudding's really good actually.
Probably be 3 months for you.
So,
Yeah, the first thing I say when I'm in the wilderness is where's my
Yes,
well,
exactly.
Look, in Texas,
Well, that's
they
the
had the
little
ice.
niceties.
They had the ice storm. You had the Montreal ice storm. They went blackouts in different
Yeah.
places. So my wife and I actually got this to make sure that
Yep.
if something happened, we have kids. We want to make sure everybody's got some food that
Yeah.
goes on for.
And they're actually great. They showed up to this morning and Washington, and they were like, hey, they brought me way too much oatmeal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't eat that much.
Yeah.
But they're very nice people. They are nice people. They've had this company for a long time. It stays fresh up for 25 years, and everyone should have some water. And you know what else is good? Everclear.
Nice.
I buy Everclear when people had the whole shortage. I just went straight to the liquor store. I bought as many bottles of Everclear.
Because it's a disinfectant?
Well, you actually have to dilute it to be a because it's 180 proof.
Really?
So you have to dilute it. But the good thing about Everclear is if you really do get a crap hits the fan scenario, not only is it something that you can use to turn into hand sanitizer, to turn into disinfectant, to turn into a cleaner, but it's also tradable with the drunks, the marauding drunks. So it's a great drink.
You know what's actually, in all seriousness, a great kindling? Cheetos. Yes. Cheetos. No, Fritos.
Fritos. Well, careful. We don't want, because someone out there's in the wilderness are going to bring it back. You're like, Brian!
Fritos.
I almost died because of you.
It's Frito. I'm not sorry. I don't eat junk food, guys. I'm so sorry.
We can tell.
I know.
You're reptilian.
That's crazy.
Hey, so before we go to Chat Thursday, really quickly, so Vioxx drug was a superior painkiller that the FDA approved. 88,000 vets had heart attacks, 38,000 died. Make sure you trust the FDA. I want to make sure we at least got that one good example in there.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do a whole segment about that. We also have a segment next week about PETA. I don't know if you know this. PETA is the single biggest executor of animals in Virginia. Really? Yeah, they actually take animals from people's yards and kill them. And I know what you're saying. Other shelters do it. No, they do it at like 5 to 10 times the rate.
Hold on, are they killing the ground owl? Or
if they were killing the ground owl, I would be their spokesperson.
You would, yes, indeed.
I thought you were talking about the DEA.
I don't know. People could use a ground owl for something.
Science does get involved, and it's a process. The lobotomies were something done in this country.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were about to say should make a comeback.
Well, you meant that as a bad
for
thing,
some
right?
people, it scrambles the emotional side of your brain. I know a lot of Gen Zers that could use that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get a little shock therapy.
Yeah.
I would like to see you have Gen Z dipped back into water like Shutter Island. Let's grab. By the way, you're going to be in we're at Portland. April 20th to 21st.
Yes,
BrianCallen.com.
All my dates.
Go and watch them. One of the best out there to go watch a live show. It's a lot of fun. And it is time to go now to. And by the way, tomorrow we still have a show right here, but only on Mug Club. LiveOfGutter.com/Mug Club. You know, you can explain it through the chat, but let's go to Chat Thursday.
Got a bail.
This, just so you know, every contract we've ever had, the show is supposed to be an hour and a half. We have never done it once.
No, we're supposed to be here a long time ago, in fact. Let me just take advantage of that really quickly. We have had a bunch of chats. We don't have an overlay for this one, but people asking how to set up a Mug Club account. So it's very easy. Just follow me. Go to louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. Click sign up or sign in, sorry. It'll take you to a page where you can create a free Mug Club account. Now, once we go off of free Mug Club, you won't have access to any premium content. You can still log in there and see a handful of random things, but you're not going to have any access to the shows behind the paywall or anything like that. So if you've had a problem finding out how to get a free Mug Club account, you don't want to pay right now because you're cheap for another week. It's okay. It's free.
LiveOfGutter.com/Mug. What you get when you join Mug Club, look, it's what supports everything that you've seen here today. The free content doesn't happen without the premium. It doesn't happen without people who support the content. If only 5% of you join up, guess what? It's a walk-off.
Done.
You get the mug, this wonderful girthy hand-painted mug. You get this show. You get the Friday show that you don't get anywhere else. You get basically twice the amount of this show at least every single week. You get
Yeah, welcome back.
show in the evenings. We're working on Brian.
First 10 billboards are
Me in the raw sometimes.
weed dispensaries.
Is that like Monday night?
It depends. I'll do whatever for attention.
I'm a Thursday night too.
Well, tomorrow's show is Gerald Knows Geopolitics.
That's right. You're talking.
Hey, Tiffany. Sorry I didn't see you.
International stuff. We won't do it all the time, but when it makes sense, we'll.
Yeah, and you guys can let us know because we've done
I did. It was stopping, so I bailed. This road runs parallel to the highway, though, so.
You like most, and yeah, there's a lot of
Soccer.
behind the scenes.
Yes.
Go straight north.
How could
I'm glad you recovered.
how could a guy that played football at such a high level love soccer? Isn't
Well, I
it just
don't really love it anymore. Just
Yeah.
guys, I'm
You
gay.
guys irritating us. Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm just so curious. Can you check Yakuza's bucket? Can you actually throw it? Did you actually see him throw it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they did.
really is green?
Can we get somebody to come in and get the bucket?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Somebody without a gag reflex coming in.
Riley, yes,
It
Riley.
smells like
come on in.
Red Bull and
The
Vitrol.
very fetching Riley comes in
It smells like something.
144? Yeah.
Hug them enough.
That's not a very good area.
Growing up at a banana.
The worst smelling thing in the world in college, somebody came and literally walking through the parking lot back to the campus, leaned over the bed of my truck and just threw up in the back of my bed. 3 days later, I'm assuming because it was like Tuesday when I went out to my car, the worst smelling thing in
It's the worst thing I ever smelled. Remember when I was a kid, you told me that's a rotting body. That house in Grayville.
Oh, no.
Remember they showed us the house? It was this Asian lady realtor didn't speak English very well. And I was like, what's that smell? No smell! Just like that, just cut me out. I'm like, what's that smell? No smell!
Definitely a smell.
And after it was like, Dad, he's like, that was a rotting body. There was
Great grandma upstairs.
And then I had never smelled that was rotting flesh. Someone
You don't forget it.
No, you don't forget.
Don't forget
This is making me.
And that was, okay, I'm sorry. Let's grab your checks.
Go get the bucket.
All right, from Crank218, question for Steven. Help me settle a bet. If you had joined the armed forces, which one would you choose? I guess Space Force.
Well, you know, I would be disqualified from ever even trying because of my this weird condition that I have where they put a pack on me and my spine.
Retardation.
Yeah, that too.
Can you not carry a pack? Because I figure you're
I can. It's just
you got a tailpiece on you.
I get joints that just the Ehlers down, they dislocate. So I've had 26 joints pop out. So if I had to, it would be whatever involves the least amount of asymmetrical movement that could separate a joint.
Air
from
Force.
itself. So let's go Air Force. My grandfather was in the Air Force.
I don't know. I peg you as intel with all your accents. What with all your accents and people skills?
I would be a great code switching.
Right?
Yeah.
Is he from
Is there a
England
place
or
for
is he
that?
from Blackistan?
I'd take off my Mission Impossible mask while straddling Swallow. He'd be like, ah! I thought it was an Asian lady. No smell!
No, the weirdest.
J-Lo booty too, so
I do.
he wore a wig.
And a penis. That would have been
What were you about to say?
The weirdest, Brian.
But he can talk. He talks hard. He can talk. The man can talk. One thing about Steven, when it comes to the mission, he can talk.
Yeah, I commit.
If he's got to play a lady, he'll talk.
I'll talk.
Talk.
I'll talk.
Sorry.
What were you about to say there?
I had to talk once. I
Sorry.
played Caitlyn Jenner right here in that show.
Yeah, he did.
Is that true?
And I didn't really know until I was on air, and
Yeah.
I really felt like I failed my father.
Well,
He said, you don't have
Yeah,
to Daniel
Mom.
Day-Lewis this thing. Just
No.
get out of character.
And you
Don't.
went with the basic instinct instead.
Yeah, exactly. Crossed his legs. Was it Halloween?
No, it was.
Dad, I can see your balls. So
I can
get
see that
everyone
big
else.
bird.
Tim, what was the theme of that
It
show?
was cultural appropriation, I think, with
That's right.
California again.
So he's Jenner on the Wheaties box as Bruce.
Oh, that's right,
And I was Caitlyn.
Yeah. So we had the different iterations.
But then
of
and
Caitlyn
now?
Jenner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you have been there, Gerald? As far as I guess the question was just to me. Let's grab another check. Well, check Thursday. We're supposed to rattle through them quickly. What were you going to say? Marines?
Air Force.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it. I know. Like, but
No,
whatever,
it's not
just-
that. It's just the being able to cover troops, being able to like get
Yeah.
there quickly and help, and just I've always loved fighter jets. Like it was just.
I know
Gerald, you're a big guy. You play D1 football.
listen,
you're getting your
I can
first
get
through
the
the
Harrier.
door.
That's it.
Yes.
You're the guy who breaks the
Gerald,
doors.
you're actually too tall for a fighter jet.
I know.
Yeah, I'd say that Gerald would
I'm
be the
saying
guy.
new generation.
No, you'd be the guy where
This
I'd be
isn't
like,
Star Trek.
Well, no, that's next generation.
No.
This is a new generation.
you're a guy who I'd be like, we don't even need any detonation or any Semtex. We'll just have Gerald run through the door. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's
Call up
huge.
the battering ram.
I would
Yeah.
send you in covered in tannerite.
Oh,
Let's grab.
I think.
I think we have a green light. I'm not sure why we're stopped.
Oil.
This isn't any much better than the freeway.
Wrestler like us. Okay, peace. All right. Next.
Hi, Murray. Question for Yakuza. How picky of an eater were you as a child?
That's a good question.
I wasn't. I ate nothing but crap. I ate Pop-Tarts and Hot Pockets.
Bananas?
Never ate bananas. I didn't start eating fruit until like my mid-20s.
Yeah, okay.
And even then it's like watermelon, strawberries, and grapes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Really?
Wouldn't you love to see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too sensitive sometimes.
Yeah, they would. They would be really. Yeah. Really great. Blood.
It's supposed to jam on the brakes too whenever it gets too close, but I've yet to have it do that yet.
Really, no solids in this blood.
I don't know how to
Centrifuge
say
it
this
out.
because you're clearly Caucasian.
Which is weird because I'll get that thing. I think I have it for like the farthest distance. Let me
So
see.
you weren't a picky eater. No.
Yeah, I do.
That's funny because I was.
Collision alert. There's like 3 levels you can keep it at.
Remember, I used to go to McDonald's and they take.
And once in a while, I will get distracted, so I just leave it on.
Getting more like burger patties.
What's your blood
Oh
type?
wow, that's weird.
I don't think I've ever rear-ended anybody, but
Really?
Yeah, so if you're O, typically red meat does well for you.
No.
Isn't that funny?
I don't really understand blood type. I don't know how O negative works. But what? And were you a picky eater?
I don't think so. No.
No. Were you a picky eater?
Yes.
You were.
I'm a finicky eater.
Well, you're a finicky eater because
Yeah,
you're
I'm like a
that's
cat.
your
I'm a
thing.
cat. I feel like a cat person along just among a bunch of dogs. I want to get really gay today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm touching my thighs. You guys are just, they're so male. You're all so male and dominant.
Well, we've already replaced the code switch.
We're talking.
In all seriousness, lest we lose fans,
Sorry.
you don't like cats.
I don't like cats. I do a man cat impersonation,
Right,
though,
yes.
and it's spot on.
Oh, see, that's fun.
Yeah, because I have a flexible spine.
Yeah.
Spine.
But cats are not.
No, I'm
They're
not a
straight
cat
from the
guy.
pit of hell.
Yeah.
They are.
Not a cat guy. I have a
Were you picky?
I think so for a time. But
You just weren't exposed to a lot, probably.
No, it's just
It was funny.
Pop stays in shape.
Yeah, he does.
I'm very happy with his back width and his shoulders. He's gay.
You're happy with that,
He's
right?
gay
Very
again.
strong.
It's Gay Thursday, everybody. Needle dick.
I don't think that's a thing.
Hey,
It's a Latin Maternity Thursday.
It's
Is
all
it
right.
this week or is it next week?
It's this week.
Nobody cares.
White paternal wealth.
Next chat.
From Osama Bon Jovi 9.
Dirty dog.
The LWC crew. I and my college Republicans are having a debate against the college communists about limited government versus unlimited government. What are some good argument points?
Hold on, you said it wrong. You're in college. What's some good argument points? That is not correct English.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start with that. Honestly, they're self-avowed communists. Well, then that's pretty. I wouldn't say easy, but that's relatively
Hey, Solo.
straightforward to prepare for. I mean, what you want to do is always combine the empirical with the anecdotal. So what I would say is combine the empirical.
I had to take Dixie Highway instead of freeway because I can see them off to the right. They're backed up all the way from the
What
exit,
they might try
probably.
and point to communists. What they try and sort of appeal is socialism, and eventually, I don't know if we did a segment on this. I have it written. It's been a long time. They try and point to Catalonia, right in the mid-30s, and they say it's anarcho.
She's there. She's working from home.
That's the one
She may be in the middle of a
thing
pre-screen,
they're
but
trying to point to, which, by the way, was a total
she is feeling better.
failure 3 years before
Just
they criminalized
self-conscious
the
about the
Soviets, and you like the bitches that you were.
bruising.
So try and find their strongest argument.
Reconnect.
If you find someone who's kind of at that upper echelon, probably try and point to Catalonia in the 1930s because Orwell wrote about it before he.
And then find somebody who's smaller than you at the other table, walk over and take their phone.
No,
And
yes,
say, what is your concept of personal
Yeah, but
property?
bring it down.
I'm bigger than you and I can hurt you. Your phone now belongs to me.
Well, they
It's not
argue
fair that you have an
that's
extra
but
phone.
so now, I think what you do is you say, look, government, whether you're a communist or you're a Republican, communists will talk about freedom, fairness, and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think you bring it down to
It's
the
all-
idea that government, if you believe in government and you believe in communism, what you need is a government that can socially engineer equality. You've got to socially engineer it. You cannot do that without some kind of enforcement. You have to create this collective mindset.
Yeah.
So I think what's important to say is that government does two things typically, and they're both coercive. One is raise taxes, the other is pass laws, for the most part. Now you need laws and you need to raise taxes.
Hurry you, man. I'm gonna go on the desktop once I get to work.
Large,
I'll restart it.
powerful, centralized.
A few
body
videos popped up
should
today
engineer
and yesterday that I want to watch.
To what degree should it be coercive?
Well, no, I would say it can't only be by its nature.
Of course it can. It's like that to me is where you start to be arguing. I think, like, how much control do you want an anonymous body to have? How much say do you want in who governs you and who governs the government?
And we've done some change on socialism, but one that's probably good that would apply here, just because of how these transpire sort of organically would be America is the greatest country ever changed my mind. The Supreme Court one was pretty good because you talked. I spoke with people who talked about expanding the court, right? And when you turn it on, then okay, so should Donald Trump. If Donald Trump were to win the next election,
Yeah, she needs to be reminded. I don't think she has any notifications on for Telegram, so she probably doesn't. But again, she gets
in personal property, but not private property. So they draw it at, in other words, they don't believe.
So yeah, you need to tell her when you send her a message because she doesn't open it very much.
In actual private property rights, they would say that they believe in personal property. But again,
What does that mean?
well, what they believe is, for example, this is my notepad or that's my phone, but you don't own that land because that's a common good. But the thing is, if you don't actually have the right to purchase, own land, guess what? You don't have the means to create any of these goods and services, which would result in personal property. So it's a backdoor in to get rid of all private and personal property. But just be ready for that kind of wordplay. So I'd reference the America's the greatest country ever, changed my mind.
Yeah, I mute just about every channel
They're not going
myself.
to be true communism.
I'm going to check it when I want.
That and Marx, they'll probably try and argue sort of some form of socialism. Be ready for them to bring up the argument of the Nordic models.
And I would read the book, a little book, get through it in a day, The Law by Frederick Bastiat. Frenchman, written in 1850. What is the law? It's the collective use of force. It's Gulliver's Travels. The little ones collectively get together and tie down the bully. Well, that's a great prep book for that.
Yeah.
And it was Jack Black's finest work.
Yeah.
One of the great things, if you take the argument you made just a minute ago, where you don't let them off the point, right, and just rattle off the experiments, apparently is what they were, experiments in communism, not actually pure communism or communism done right. Just rattle off the record, right? How many people, how many millions of people died, how the economy
Define your terms and make them defend their
boom.
argument,
Yeah.
and then cut it apart piece by piece. That's kind of the method. That's the template. Define your terms first so that they go, oh, so we're talking about communism, are you now trying to point to any example of communism or socialism? Because then we can expand the term of free enterprise more broadly as well. So we need to define what it is, and they will not have the ability to substantiate it, to try and get by on wordplay. So be prepared for that, and we make all those
And
references.
ask them who's in control. Ask them who's in control. You're going to replace one hierarchy, a hierarchy of meritocracy and competence, with another hierarchy, and that hierarchy is going to be a hierarchy of influence. Somebody has to enforce the engineering of equality. Somebody's got to keep somebody down. Somebody's got to keep ambition, or at least somebody's going to be better at the game of capitalism or making wealth. Somebody's going to come up with ideas, and you're going to want to buy those ideas or use those ideas.
Yeah, I mean,
so
if you
you
buy
have
the
to,
idea of putting a tranny in a Bud Light can, you lose the company $6 billion.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but we've got a Judeo-Christian founding that believes man is flawed, that his greed needs to be bridled in, power needs to be bridled in. I think, Gerald, the communists would believe man is basically good, right?
Yeah, except for the
To your
wealthy.
point.
well, also that
To
you
your
can
point
perfect
that-
man and you can perfect society.
Right.
And when you start talking about
Shrinkflation.
purifying society, you start talking about creating a utopia on Earth, you better be very, very careful, because that always means there's a group of people that are beyond corruption, and they need to be
right.
removed like bad meat.
Yeah.
See Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong. See that? See the way I
got
did
it right.
that?
You know,
And-
Kung Fu.
and
Pure
and Joseph Stalin.
cannabis outlet.
And
I don't think he
Lenin.
is that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's a
Example.
fucking
You
size
can
of a
also
fucking
you can go
grocery
to,
store.
You can go to Castro, you can go to Guevara, you can go to
That's
Castro.
new.
Anywhere that it has been tried.
I swear, every time I drive this route, I see a new dispo.
They'll say, oh, they have a longer life expectancy. Oh, they have a higher standard of living. And this is an argument that I brought up a long time ago, and I'm glad to see other people using it. That is true, but you're talking about
Loom,
countries
that one's been here a while.
It
It used to be a pretty nice restaurant.
They actually created their wealth under a free market economy.
A diner.
Finally, the references that I've made available to you is Danish Americans have a standard of living and life expectancy that is, I don't have the numbers in front of me, I believe it's 54% higher than the Danish living in Denmark.
I'll have to check
Swedish
it out.
Americans have a standard of living that is higher than Swedes in Sweden, because if you take the culture, if you take these people who come from a background with a work ethic and you transplant them into a place of opportunity, they do better than Sweden by itself. The problem is we're a country of 350 million people, whatever the number is right now, that is not a race of people. That is not one people, one identity. So it's not really fair. That's why it's better to compare state to state. We compare Texas to California or Florida. It's a little bit more of a fair example than, for example, comparing Iceland with the population of Vermont, the United States. And by the way, half of their population are top 10 world's strongest men. Next, Jeff.
Wait, on this point, that's a very good point. The 50 sovereign states is the perfect test tube for all these ideas. Make them defend their contribution. What if they contributed? Diseases cured, patents, contributions to the world.
When was the last time you bought a Russian good?
Like your indoor
Always make them defend their contribution. That is the measurement.
I think you're...
Of an ism.
Yep. All right, so another chat. What are you looking at there, G?
No, it was
Big G.
He was telling him to go.
Yeah, tying into the drink on life segment. Ray76, question, out of all the beverages in the market, what is your drink of choice?
Do you mean alcoholic, I assume?
I would assume alcohol.
Wine, tequila.
You mean what is my drink of choice or what is my brand of choice? Is that what they mean? Drink, I guess it probably, I was a beer guy, I like cider, and then probably outside of that would be bourbon or rye or gin. That's about it. I don't really drink anything else.
You don't drink Bordeaux?
I don't like wine. Gives me a headache.
Wine with protein powder, guys? Seriously?
Right.
Yeah,
And a banana? Wine with protein powder and a banana?
The fiber's part.
I removed the hair.
You getting them?
But Gerald, you prefer beer to wine personally sometimes.
Sometimes I do it. When we started drinking beer, when I did, started kind of helping me understand a little bit more about it. I started kind of at the high alcohol and like really great like Belgian triples.
Yeah, Belgian triples, quads,
really good
doubles.
stuff. So I never started out with crap like Bud Light, thank God. But that stuff has a lot of flavor and it's fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
as a wine guy, I'm looking for like depth of flavor.
And by the way, craft, people use the term craft, but it doesn't, in America, it's been sort of bastardized where it's like, this ultra hoppy IPA.
No.
I like hops and beer, but when people, it's like how white wine was in the 80s, where it's like, dry white, let's make it as dry as shit! And then it's like, well, now there's no balance. And so there are plenty of beers out there like
that suck. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the Belgian styles a lot. They really know how to make beers.
Pink de Monde, Rodit, like some of my favorites. Left was one of my favorites over there.
Anheuser-Busch.
No, left here it's not nearly as good. Over there it was fantastic.
Yeah, but Anheuser-Busch is.
I know, but they don't do it. It's not Anheuser-Busch. Well, I guess
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah,
and it gives me nightmares. Left Blonde. Remember?
I do. I remember that. The
Yeah,
Tremens, that was
something about it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Gave me nightmares as well.
So I drink beer, typically Belgian styles. What about you there, Pops Crider? Is it usually
I'm not really a drinker, but Gerald would say I drink bad wine with dinner. But I love to go out with Gerald because he runs the good stuff by us all night long.
My favorite beer is Peroni. I don't know why. Peroni and Sapporo. For real.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Ugh.
Maybe
You have no soul. That's why.
well,
You know that beer's skunked, right? If it's in a green bottle,
Sapporo?
it is skunked.
really?
That is neat.
The one thing that can, so temperature doesn't affect beer nearly as much. Like you can have it in the trunk of your car, and it's
Yeah.
fine. Light. This was one time at, I think it was Thanksgiving. I was at a high-rise apartment. One of my family members got a growler filled from a local brewery. They knew that they had, it was actually a local Belgian, like a farmhouse ale that I loved.
yeah.
But it was a clear growler. They put it on the balcony for 40 minutes, and it tasted like a skunk's asshole.
Really? Because of the light.
Because of the light, UV light.
I think the
That's why
light-
Heineken tastes like skunk. It's not how it's supposed to taste.
I think
And
light
Corona.
with milk. That's why you have milk in a carton because the ultraviolet rays kill the vitamin D in milk or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I know with beer it'll skunk it.
Beer and wine.
Yeah. If you leave milk out for a long time, guys.
Try Heineken on draft, and then in a green bottle, you'll see the difference.
Really?
Big difference. Wow.
Is that true, Gerald? Wine gets skunked? Same?
Yeah.
From light?
Yeah.
Oh!
That's why bottles are dark.
That's why we keep it in the cellar, guys.
So what? So what's Barefoot's excuse?
Well,
You put your wine in a clear bottle, selling it at CVS! Oh! Oh!
they know you won't know the difference. That's the excuse.
Gerald, I remember you telling me the story about the guy in the mega mansion.
Yeah.
Building his wine
Bud
cellar,
Light.
and he wanted the glass door so everyone could see his collection. You said, well,
Yes.
you've wasted your time.
Yes.
All of this is for naught.
So tell me again, you have a west-facing house, and it is completely glass. Yes, and the cellar faces out.
Hold on a second. Let me check the. You're an asshole.
Yeah, but it's temperature controlled, Gerald.
I'm not a big fan of Heineken. I don't think it tastes skunk though.
You should have rich friends. 'cause then you
All right,
can really-
I'm gonna stop this. I'll restart it on the desktop as soon as I get things set up. Thanks for the ride, guys.